Hello, Soul Family. Thank you for joining for this live event. Our main topic for today will be energy healing, like what can you do with your own energies, how it works, and also how can you maneuver it, and what can you do with other people's energy. In general, we will go into, many of you have sent in some awesome questions, which will be the guideline for the most part for this event. They're really good. We'll go through that. But the main theme will be how can you get a feel to it? Especially if you're just beginning to awaken that, hey, I have this interesting gift, I can sense stuff, and how does that work? And also, very quickly, you will find that you will have to learn to maneuver with your own energies. And so you're not overwhelmed by it, because we're exposed to a lot of things. And we have to learn to navigate that landscape of communicating and being with other people and receiving a lot of energy from other people. And in many situations, we receive a lot of energies that are unpleasant and we would not like to have them in our system. So we will also address that, because many of us, when you're having a positive experience with someone, or if you're interacting with someone that you resonate with, that you don't really pay attention to these things because it just works, it feels good, and whatever, just go by. But we also have a lot of interactions when we face people that we don't enjoy being around, or difficult situations where people are stressed out or they're going through a difficult life situation. And basically you can feel the energy of those people inside of you. And if you're not careful, you can take that energy inside of you and make it your own. Or it can also influence the way how you perceive life and what you do in your own life. And we don't want that. Because the main point of being energy sensitive and being able to do these things is to actually assist others. It's not there to overwhelm us or to give us unpleasant experiences. What is important that we can use it to assist others. But first, we have to learn to assist ourselves. So we can, that's where learning to maneuver with your own energy comes in, basically. And after you have mastered, to a certain extent, that part, then you can interact and assist people much more effectively, because you have an entirely new and deep perspective on what you're going through. Okay, I see people are joining us. That is awesome. Thank you for joining. Hello, Donna. Pure Water. Thank you for joining. Also, Cool Deep. Good morning, Guardian. Hello. And yes, Pure Water. Sending you all much love from Long Island. I believe New York, because the big heart is overlapping. I can't see it, but I believe it's from New York. So thank you for joining. I'm also sending everyone much love from Transylvania. So if you feel like it, you can totally write in where are you from, joining the chat. Where are you from? And also, if you haven't seen, I'm going to pin the comment right now. You can write in your questions into the chat box, and I will see them if everything goes well on the internet. We've been having some technical difficulties today, but let's hope the internet gods are with us today. So I have 5 or 6 questions already noted from the community section. So a big hug and thank you for everyone who has written those questions. In general, these will be the guideline for today's session, basically, because you have covered everything that I wanted to talk about, and it's awesome. Thank you for doing that. Okay, let's see. Honeyball, yes, hello. You're from Holland. Awesome. That's pretty near to us. And Lily, hugs from Brazil. Teresa, listening from Sweden. Hello. And yes, I think yes. And Vibe love from Canada. Okay. And yeah, Donna mentioned that the stupid time changes. Yeah. I believe we're in that week where the American side of the world, you're changing your clock 1 hour early or something, and the rest of the world is still in the winter way of maneuvering with time. because of course we are not on the same planet, so we will only join the summer daylight saving thingy in just 1 week. So right now we're 1 hour closer to each other. To everyone on the West Coast, that is awesome because we don't have that huge time difference, but it's super annoying because you again have to recalculate everything. So if to anyone who was confused by what I have left in the community section about the converted time, then I'm sorry, because I couldn't account for that damn change. So it's very annoying, but it only lasts 1 week. Cool Deep is listening from Canada. Okay, hello. Okay, so let's see. Can we go into the questions? How to work with your own energy or the energy of the collective? Yes, and what to do when we feel that heaviness? Yes, just as I mentioned, like this is my personal observation. I tend to be very rigorous and pay much attention to my own energy and to clear myself and to do energy protection whenever I go to some place or meet someone. But I tend to forget or like not be as attentive of it when I know that I'm going to interact with people that I enjoy being with, because like our energies are very similar and I don't feel that it's so necessary for some reason. This might be someone else might do it differently, but that's how I go about it. And usually when we are around people that we enjoy being with, it's not that big of a deal. But the problem comes when we are interacting with people that maybe are energy vampires, or we just simply not enjoy being around. Or maybe it can be even like a loved one who is going through a difficult time in their life, and like we're feeling all of that energy, and it can be like super difficult to be around them and with them. Not to mention to assist them through the difficulties that they're experiencing at this time. So first of what we're always talking about is to like learn what your own energy feels like. And the best way to do that is to spend time alone and see how that feels and like, who are you really? And the best way to do it, in my humble opinion, is to like go out in nature, maybe take a weekend off or a week off and just be alone somewhere where it's clear energetically, and just simply enjoy being with yourself and experiencing your own energies. Like that's one of the best ways you can experience it and the quickest to go about it. Because like when you're surrounded by many people or you're in a city, there is this constant energetic noise in the background. Like you can kind of get used to it after time and you don't notice it, but still it's like interfering with your own energy and how you sense and experience much more subtle energies. So the best way is to like go out to nature when there is like a clean slate and you can just be with yourself and experience your own energies. And this is also where like mindfulness comes in. I think it's mostly from Eastern traditions. This concept of mindfulness is of like being very much present in the now and observing yourself and acknowledging like what you are going through. How does this make you feel? Like, how do you react in certain situations? And just simply try to go throughout your day and just constantly observe yourself, like, who are you? And like, how do you react in X, Y, and Z situations? How does certain things make you feel? And what do you do with that situation? For example, if something's unpleasant. And this is how you can not easily, but with time, we will be able to start to see the difference between your own energies and the energies of others. Because if you're an empath, and I believe most of you, if you were listening to us, you were an empath, then most likely you have noticed that if you're with specific people, that maybe you're taking their energy upon yourself. For example, if they behave in a specific way in a certain situation, then you kind of feel like that starts to like creep into your way, how you're behaving as well. Or you like take on certain traits of that specific person if you like spend too much time with them. Maybe how they talk or how they interact with certain people or how they behave in specific situations. And you just like notice like, hey, like that's how my ex-friend is behaving in those situations, and I'm doing the exact same thing myself. So where did that come from? Well, it's most likely you have like assimilated that pattern and you're expressing it yourself. That tends to happen a lot as well, especially in the beginning when you're not conscious of this being even a possibility. Like, for example, when I was young, I experienced this very intensely to the extent that I was like unclear. For me, it was like unclear, like, who am I? Or I believe the way I interpreted it is like, I don't have a strong enough personality, or I don't have a developed personality, because I'm like constantly like emulating other people's behaviors and the way they talk and all that stuff. And I didn't know that, hey, like I did that stuff because I'm an empath and I didn't really control the experience of being an empath. So you have to start to learn that as well. But yeah, like I think the most difficult part of it is like actually starting to learn to like differentiate your energy from the energies of others. Because after a time you will be able to tell that, for example, like you go about your day and all of a sudden you feel this agitation like come into your being, and you're like, stop, like, hey, like, why am I feeling this way? Like, I have absolutely no reason to feel this way, but still I feel very agitated, and like, where is this coming from? And maybe you like look around and maybe start to see the source of it. Maybe like someone around you is going through something that they're not showing, but you can sense it in your own being. Or maybe simply the collective is going through something, and that like that collective agitation is like slipping into your own experience because we're part of the collective, and you can't really do much about that. But you can learn to navigate that experience, and that's why we're here to talk about. So let's see what's happening. Pure water. Canada strong. Here. Okay. And Lucy, that is a very good explanation of how I felt when I was younger. Yes. Yeah, like when you don't know these things, you tend to think that, hey, like something's wrong with me, or I'm broken, or I'm a freak, like something's wrong with me. Yeah, like that's what I thought when I was younger. And I only discovered these things when I was 21 or 22, I'm not sure, around that time. It was in 2012, basically. But yeah, like it was a huge revelation, because also the thing that I had, I wouldn't say like a gift, but a way of seeing things before I knew of any of this, is that when, for example, I know like I traveled a lot on the bus, and when I was like bored, I was like probing people's mind, even though I didn't know I was doing it. And I was like, just like look at the person and like guess like what is their background, like what type of childhood they had, and what types of experiences shaped them into who they are right now. And I was, in my mind, like it was like, hey, like that's how everyone else is functioning, and this is completely normal. And then I learned that, hey, like that's a very empathic thing to do. And I was like, whoa, I just simply did it. Like nobody told me that what it was. It just naturally came to me. Okay, so Donna. So what if you wake up in the morning all agitated? Where are we picking it up from? Yeah, like if I know, like if anyone else has been experiencing like unpleasant or very intense like sleeping in the past, since the weekend basically, around the new moon, like very intense dreams, like waking up a lot during the night, and yeah, or feeling agitated when you wake up. I also had some very intense dreams. I believe like they were mostly like things coming from the past, like maybe unresolved issues or unpleasant experiences that I had are like coming back up again. And I kind of noticed this same pattern in the past few days, that many old stuff are coming back again. Like, did anyone else notice that, for example? Let me get a sip of baking soda water to lubricate my voice. Oh, it doesn't taste good at all. Okay. And yes, Kuldeep, the sun is shining here today, sitting outside in the sun while listening to you. That's awesome and lovely. It's good that you have some nice and shiny weather. We had a lot of rain, and we don't have floods, but we have a lot of rain. Pure water has been waking up in the middle of the night. Yes. Yes, and Donna asked, like, where are we picking this up from? Yeah, like, I don't think there's like 100% accurate answer, because it can vary, in my opinion and experience. Like, it can also be affected by the alignments that are happening. Like, everyone knows that the moon can deeply affect how our bodies function as well. For example, it has an effect on our body's water, and we're mostly made out of water, so that can affect us as well. Also, if any other type of alignment is happening, or we're experiencing maybe solar storms or some kind of magnetic shift, that can also affect our experience. In some cases, it can be, I don't know, like the source of it can be that something is happening to your physical body that is like coloring that experience and like making it unpleasant. For example, in my case, if I like overheat for some reason during the night, I will have nightmares. So for some reason, if my body is too warm, I will have a very bad time sleeping, in my case. And also, maybe if you have eaten something or you're exposed to something that is like disrupting your body's natural way of functioning, that can also like color or distort your dream time experiences and like make it into something that is like that agitates you or something unpleasant. But it can also be something from the collective, like if collectively we're going through a lot of stuff, or yeah, like collectively some difficulties are happening and many people are experiencing, I don't know, like revelations, or they're going through a difficult time, then of course that will also affect us. And when we're going into our dream time, then basically we're far more interconnected and aware of the subtle nature of our reality, basically. Because like when we're awake, then we're very much busy with our day-to-day life, like what is happening in the physical reality, like I have to go to work and all that stuff. And for the most part, we're distracted. But when you go to sleep, like all that's like shutting down and all the subtle stuff are like coming to the surface. And that's when unpleasant stuff can creep into your life. The things that you were avoiding. Okay. Yeah, like Honeyball, you are on 3 o'clock or 4 o'clock. Yes. Yes, like the 3 o'clock is like, that's the magical number for some reason. Like many people wake up during that time. Like you look at the clock and it's like 3:33 or stuff like that. And also like physically around 3 a.m. like that's where our brain like produces a lot of DMT. That's why we have a lot of weird experiences in the night around that hour, because physically we're far more open to perceive more subtle and otherworldly things, rather than when we're in the middle of the day. Because like you don't necessarily have to like consume, I know, like these consciousness altering substances. For example, like things that contain DMT, because like our body produces it too. Like we also produce all that consciousness altering, I wouldn't say drugs, but hormones, I guess, that open up our mind to different realities. And the clearer your body is and the more healed you are, then the more it is able to produce those things and like open you up to different realities. And also the other added benefit, the more clear you are, then I'm not sure like how that hormone is called. I think it's called melatonin or something, the hormone that assists you to sleep well. Like if you have a calcified pineal gland then your brain is unable to produce that hormone properly, so you won't be able to sleep properly. So that is why it's so important to keep your body clean and to clear it as best as you can, because it won't function properly if you don't. Okay, so Honeyball, 3 o'clock. Yes, I already read that. So RF Traveler, how can you use your own energy to heal issues in the body that medicine falls short in clearing the issue? Yes, melatonin. Yes, like we will go into that. We will go into that as well. Because I think the third question is about how to transmute energies. Yes. Okay, so we will go through the notes that I've taken from the community section, because they're pretty good structure for all this presentation. How to work with your own energies and the energies of the collective, and what to do with the heaviness. Yes. And this is where the fourth comes in, like how to transmute energies, especially negative energies. So we talked about that we are basically like energy sponges, emotional sponges that are like living here in this difficult reality, which we call present day planet Earth. And of course, we absorb a lot of unpleasant stuff that we normally wouldn't want to have in our field or in our life in general. So we have to learn to deal with that. And this is where transforming the absorbed energies come in. And the first way to do it is basically the first step. We all carry a lot of stuck energies, and that's the best place to start. First, to learn how to transmute stuff in your own field, in your own body. And after you become very good at it, then you can do the same thing for others as well. But of course, they have to accept that specific healing or that specific thing that you do. Otherwise, it wouldn't work. So first, we talked about being mindful and like recognizing these things that you're like absorbing into yourself. And of course, if you are here on planet Earth, then definitely, even if you're like super into energy clearing and healing, I bet you have some stuff to do. Because like you cannot heal yourself perfectly or fully here. There's just so many things happening to us, and we're exposed to so many difficulties, negative energies and toxins and crap. So we constantly have a lot of work to do on ourselves. So after you have recognized that, okay, like I have a lot of stuff to work on, this is where transmutation comes in. We haven't talked about it in some time, but if you're interested, check out our previous meditation that we did last week. And also I have, I think it was in November, we did a group meditation with the violet flame. Like definitely like check out those if you want to go into transmutation, which means basically transforming something that is maybe like impure or in a undesired state, and like transforming into something that is desirable or something that you actually want to have or experience. Basically, this is where like alchemy comes in. Like some people, this is also a form of interpretation. Like what you do is you can like look at it as alchemy, of like deconstructing something and then reconstructing it or purifying it, transmuting it into something that is positive. And this is how basically healing works as well. Like, for example, you have an issue in your body, which usually comes from some energetic problems, like maybe you have trauma in the body, you have attracted something into your body, or maybe just like simply inherited something, and you like carry that with you. And when you recognize that, then you recognize that, hey, like I can totally like transform that. It may not necessarily happen all at once. Some cases it can, but if it's something much deeper, then it will definitely take some more time, because like there are like layers upon layers of that specific trauma or that imprint that you have. But basically, in short, like you take that energy that you don't want to have in your body. Maybe it was a trauma that left a mark on your being, not necessarily physically, but it has left a mark on you, and you can work with that. So basically, that you can see it as a specific blockage or like stuck energy in a specific part of your body, or maybe around your body, because our energy field extends a bit beyond. But most of it, we do carry it inside of our body, and after a time, these stuck patterns or energies will manifest as some kind of physical symptom. Like this is how we get mostly our sicknesses and diseases, because some type of imbalance rises inside of our body. So when you want to transmute it, you do transformational meditation, for example, or you go to a healer that does the exact same thing, just assisting you through that process, basically. And also, like if you go to a healer and they're assisting you with these issues, they're doing the exact same thing that you can do yourself as well. The only difference is that not most likely, but definitely they are not as immersed in that issue. Like they are far more objective, and they're there to hold that sacred energy and to assist you through your own healing process, basically. They're holding space for you, creating a safe space where you can express and like bring forth all the unpleasant stuff, where you can bring it forth and transform it. And they are holding the energy for you, so you can go through whatever you need to go through to heal that process, to heal that issue in your life, basically. But you can do that stuff for yourself as well. The only added benefit to a healer or like asking for assistance of someone else is that they will have a much better perspective most of the time on what you're experiencing than yourself, because maybe you have an issue or something that you've been experiencing for quite some time, and you kind of gotten used to it, or like you have a specific take on that, like why do I experience that, where is it coming from? And then a completely new person comes in who doesn't even know you, and some cases they may know you, but in many cases, like if you go to a therapist, like they have no clue who you are, like they don't know your background. But as you're like going through what you're experiencing, what is your background, how can you be assisted, then they will gain a completely different perspective on who you are, where is that stuff coming from, and like how could you actually heal that. And many times it can be a very eye-opening experience, because you never thought of that, what they're going to say. And yeah, like many times it can be a huge revelation. So it's worth it, especially if you like know someone, or you're like attracted to a specific healer or person that you know that, hey, like that guy or girl really resonates with me. Like I can totally like trust them to do this stuff for me. And many times, many times I had like one occasion with a Reiki healer. Like I wasn't there personally, but a friend was there on a conference, a Reiki conference, which I never really got into. My mom was into it. And a Reiki healer was like doing presentation, and then you had your Q&A at the end. And what my friend was like explaining about the whole event and like the whole demeanor of the master was like, it gave me the impression of this very egotistic person, of like, who feels like they're like above you or something, or I don't know, like I wouldn't want someone like that touching my energy. Because if you're like a healer, then you're there to assist others, you're there to raise the others to your own level or even beyond. Like you're not here to educate anyone about how they're lacking certain information and stuff like that. Okay, so let's see. G Campus, hello Star Family, hello. Okay, let's see. Pure water, the wild flame is very powerful. Have you worked with it a lot? Yes. If anyone who joined just now or a few minutes ago, we are talking about transforming dense energies, and also about yeah, like, can you do it yourself, or maybe someone else can do it for you? But generally, it's really good if you do it for yourself on a daily basis, if you can. And like one of these tools is the violet flame. Like you can find a lot of information with it online. And we also did a group meditation, I believe in November. You can check out the live events section of my YouTube channel, and where we can go through the steps of like how it works and how can you do it yourself. But yes, like there isn't a specific, I don't know, like the one way of doing it. The process is the same. That is very simple. Like you go into a clear state where you're aligned, all the busyness and tension, like you let it go. You clear yourself the best way you can. It doesn't have to be perfect. You don't have to be like a Tibetan monk at the first time that you do it. It's not important. The important thing is that you actually focus and hold the energy and intent of the transformational energy that you're going to work with at that time. Visualization in this case can be very useful as well. And yeah, like just simply feeling and working with the violet flame's energy. And the simplest way to describe it is that you're in that cleared state and just simply call upon the violet flame. Like, I haven't really encountered this in many places, but the way I do it is like I always bring it forward from the center of my heart, and like visualize that my heart center is like burning in the violet flame, basically. And then you ask the violet flame to come forth from the center of your heart and like flow through all your body, through your energy field, like all energetic pathways, and just basically like engulf your entire being. However that will look for you, it is okay. And then you ask not the eternal fire, but the violet flame to transform all density, fear, doubt, all negative belief systems, stuck energies, whatever is like holding you back from reaching your highest potential, basically. And yeah, then you just hold the energy and the focus of that you're burning in the violet flame. Like I recommend after a time that you gotten used to this energy to like take it a few steps above that and like actually become the violet flame itself. Like visualize and feel that you yourself are the violet flame. And also there's this awesome mantra, I'm not sure from whom I heard it first, that you like repeat it constantly, that I am a being of the violet flame. I am a being of the violet flame. And that also like helps you in focusing on basically the healing process of this whole thing that you're doing. Because like you only like ask the violet flame at the beginning that, hey, transform all density, fear and doubt. And then you just visualize, then it may work for some people, but maybe like after 30 seconds or 2 minutes, your attention like goes sideways and you get distracted by something else. And then that whole healing process and energy's potency will like fluctuate and just go away and fade after time. Like this is why maybe doing it with someone else can be very beneficial. And like if you do it in a group, because it's inevitable, like your attention will slip, like you won't be able to have this like laser focus for, I don't know, like 15 minutes straight. Maybe some people can do it, but I don't think there are that many. Like I can't. So, and I've been doing this stuff for quite some time, but this is where like that mantra can help you with, or make up your own. Like it's completely up to you as well. But like repeating that I am a being of the violet flame, and like visualizing that you are the violet flame itself. And yeah, like just repeating that can super assist you in holding that energy. And when you're in that sacred space that you are a being of the violet flame, then just simply, I don't know, like let your imagination or tension guide you to specific spots in your body. Maybe you already have a very clear intent, like what you want to work with, and just simply with all your intent, like go to that spot. And usually these stuck energies, traumas, or whatever that is like holding you in an unpleasant place, Like it will be usually represented by like a dark cloud or smoke or mist. If it's something more physical, it can see like very redness, this like inflammatory energy in that specific spot. Or if it's something like even more dense, then this black tar-like substance thingy that is like attached to certain parts of your body, or it is like blocking specific pathways. And with your intent, when you have like identified those spots, then with your intent, like go there and ask the violet flame that transform that specific density, transmute it, free it up, dissolve it, and heal that spot basically. And do the same thing previously that I mentioned, that like repeat that I'm a being of the violet flame, and just like keep your focus on it and like let it do its stuff. Like it has its own consciousness, its own awareness, so you can't misuse it or hurt someone with it or yourself or anything like that. Like it's not for that. It cannot be used for something like that. And the only thing that, like a side effect that it may have, that can be like alarming for newcomers to this stuff, is that if you have never done it, or if you're like very dense and like very much stuck in a low vibrational place, then this high vibratory energy that is like coming in fast into your being, transforming that density that you have already made your own and integrated very deeply, then you will also feel that very deeply, that it's like pushing and like flowing through your body and like pushing out stuff. And it may manifest as like jolts, or like your body will like twitch or move, almost like when like subtle electricity is like moving through your nervous system, because it's affecting your body on such a deep level. Basically, it's rearranging your energy system, and that is affecting your physical body as well. And this is how it can manifest. So if you feel that your body like needs to move or like just twitches for some reason, that it's perfectly okay. Like it's pushing out all the dense stuff, and that's how it manifests. And the more you do it, the more clear you become. Like you can do the same meditation and we will not have that effect, because it has already like pushed out all the dense stuff, and it doesn't need to do that anymore. Okay, I see some stuff have arrived in the chat box. Awesome. And yes, like G Campus, for protection, we can say Kadosh, 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 Adonai Sabaoth, or a prayer. Yes. And yeah, like the other part of this whole, like knowing your own energy and working with the energies of others, is not just like transforming the unpleasant stuff, but also like doing your energy protection, of which I will not go into super detail, other than that it is a form of filter or like agreement that you do, like your terms of service or something like that. Like what, and through which you state like which are the energies that you want to receive in your experience and which are the energies that you reject. But in general, how it works is that you clear all the gunk, like all the crap out of your system, excuse me, and then you do your protection work, so none of that nasty stuff slips back into your field. And again, it's like a type of agreement or contract in which you state that which are the energies that you want to interact with and receive into your being. Because if you like, you don't have a clear intent and statement of what you want to experience, like what is okay with you and what is not, then basically you will just be like inundated by everything all at once, and unpleasant stuff will come into your life that way, because you have like not set a clear boundary of what you want to have and what you don't want to have. And this is where protection work comes in, where you clearly set a boundary that, okay, like I'm okay with experiencing these energies, but I don't want to have those. And it's very, very important, not just for empaths or anyone, but setting healthy boundaries on all levels is very important to have a healthy life. Okay, so we have some new questions. Okay, so Curly Vegan. Okay, awesome name. Zoltan, what about healing with your guides or star people, like the Pleiadians or Syrians? How would you initiate? I haven't done it many times. Like, I have a few instances in my life where that actually happened. I'm not sure what exactly initiated it in the first few occasions, but I did have very strong healings, like twice in the very beginning of my awakening journey. I think the first one was in 2012 and then in 2013. Like, the first time was, I was very new to all this energy stuff, and I found some energy exercises, something similar to like yoga, to like charge your body or something. And I tried it out, and I think I overdid it or something. And my body was like not ready to like handle all that pressure that I put it under, basically. So I started, towards the end of the day, I started to feel very sick and overwhelmed. But it was like a very strange sensation, because wasn't like a sickness or anything, but I felt that my body's like overwhelmed, and I was dizzy. I couldn't walk. I also like had to like vomit, and I felt very bad. And I really started to become scared of like, holy shit, like what is happening? Like, because I just started to like, I was like unable to control or have any influence over what is happening with my body. And I became very scared. And I know that around that time I read the little book called ET 101, which is an awesome book, which is like a guideline or user manual for people who want to incarnate on planet Earth. It's a very funny book, but it has some very good points in it. And just in that moment, I remembered like, yeah, like my guides, and they can help me with this. And in that very desperate state, lying in the bed, like motionless, I was like, hey, like help me, like help me with this. I don't know what to do. And I think it was like my intent was so strong that in like 1 or 2 minutes, I remember I was very conscious through the whole process, but I can like feel myself like slip into almost like an alpha state, like, and it was like very strange because it happened very fast, and it felt like it was like not me, like someone who was like standing at my back was like pushing me into a deeper state of relaxation, like turning a knob off or something like that in my mind. And I felt that like someone took me and like helped me like sit up in the bed. My physical body was lying on the bed, but like took me out of my body and like raised me up. And someone like put some kind of energy cylinder rotating thingy into my head. Oh yeah, like my head was like hurting very badly. I put that, and I could like feel like that like moving throughout my head, like someone was like putting that stuff in it, like just absorbing stuff or something like that. And it was very quick, and then just that same energy just like put me back into my body, and just like I was able to move, and I was like back, and I was like, hey, like I'm feeling really good. And it just happened like under like 1 minute or so. So I just like I did like a 180 physically. Like I felt very sick and drained. And all of a sudden I was like, hey, like all the pain, nausea, and the vomit stuff is like, it's gone. Like I feel good. I was very tired from all the experience, but I wasn't experiencing any negative effects. And after that, I like went to sleep a few minutes afterwards. And the same stuff kind of happened, I think, in 2013, when I think I had a like, very high fever. I think it was some kind of influenza season. I had a very high fever, and she was my girlfriend at the time. My wife, my girlfriend at that time, she brought me some medication. Like I was very sick, like I couldn't get up from bed. And I had such a high fever that, you know, like you're shaking and you have to vomit and stuff like that. It's very unpleasant. And I couldn't eat. I was feeling very sick. And she left to buy some medication for the fever, basically. And she left some food on the table for me, just in case if I wanted to eat, but I couldn't eat all day long. I was so sick. And I kind of went for the same stuff that I like cried out for help. Like, hey, like, please help me with this. Like, I feel very bad and I'm very sick right now. And it wasn't as quick or drastic as the first time. I just like gently fallen asleep for a half an hour or so. And when I woke up, I was like very like energized, and all the like unpleasant symptoms of like having a high fever, like all that was gone. And I was like super hungry. Like I could eat everything. I ate everything that I found at home. I was so hungry because I haven't eaten for like 2 days or so. And after that, it was very well. I just had to rest and I regenerated very quickly. But other than that, I'm not sure how to initiate it. Like, we all have our guides and like who are with us. And also we have, I don't know how to describe it. But yeah, like type of guides or like beings who are assisting us with our physical and mental well-being as well. Almost like a support team, I guess you could call that. And yeah, like you can interact with them, and it really helps if you like have a more steady relationship with your guides and just simply ask for their assistance. And that assistance may come through maybe unexpected ways, like you can never know. Like also when I experienced it, like each time it was something different. I'm not sure how well I answered your question. Okay, so Cool Deep. Oh my god, I have a deer in my garden. Okay. And saw the first butterfly. That's nice. Okay, so let's see. G Campus. Okay, but I see we have something from Esther. Esther Lazar, okay. I use your light language meditations videos for healing. They are not violent, but I feel better after listening to them. Yeah, like, I'm not sure how recent this phenomenon is of like light language, but I know that for the past, I don't know, like 10 years, it has been like surfacing. And like many healers are also using light language as a type of extra something that they do during a healing session, that they bring. Like during healing, you can do kind of the same thing that you would do on yourself, but you kind of like extend that energy to someone else. And it may come from many different ways. And recently I've seen and heard from more and more people that even if they like do Reiki or whatever type of more traditional, energy work, then they feel the need to like maybe speak light language and like to bring through those codes even verbally. And yeah, like they can be super powerful and helpful. I've been also using them for quite some time. Like, yeah, like you can find a lot online. I also have not that a lot, but a few dozen. Check them out if you're interested. And yeah, like you can like listen to them in the background during meditation, or maybe like pay closer attention to them. If nothing else, they're like can be very relaxing and enjoyable to listen to. Like they can like calm you down, bring you down into a very aligned state. But the interesting thing about it is that I had the opportunity to read a lot of feedback regarding these light language videos. Like everyone is reporting something else, like but this is the general theme, that some type of activation, realignment is happening, or maybe like people go into like an out-of-body experience. Like some people have written that too. So interesting stuff can happen during those transmissions. But yeah, like try to find one that resonates with you. You have, I think you can find a lot online, and just like try different people and like see like which one resonates more, and like filter out the ones that don't resonate. And I think like many of us will be like guided to bring forth your own codes, because like we can do each and every one of us can do the same. And you will like be able to bring forth your own codes for yourself and maybe for others as well. Okay, I have, yes, the question from Esther and G Campus talking about bioenergy. More than once accidentally shocked a little others, and when I jumped, scare my fingertips, but just feel electricity. I'm not sure if I read that correctly or understand it. But yeah, like we talked about, like when you're doing these types of energy works, like it can have an electric effect on your body as well, because like our nervous system is very electric and electricity based, so it can definitely like influence that if you're like doing something maybe that you haven't done before, or there are like these different stages throughout our spiritual awakening or energy work that you're like opening yourself up more and more energetically, or you're able to channel or conduct more and more energy, and we're like reaching a new plateau, then you will usually feel that in your body, that it's like stretching you or like it's pushing you a bit harder because you're not used to it. It's just like very similar to like doing exercise or like working out. If you like do a round of exercise with some extra weights, then you will feel that because your body's not used to that right now. But the more you do it, you won't even notice the next time around. So just keep exercising. So Honeyball, you use specific symbols for energy transmutation? No. I know that like Reiki and other types do use, and also like colors, but I don't. The way I do it is like I do these transmutations that I share with everyone else during our meditations, very similar to the violet flame transmutation. And occasionally, if it's like needed, I bring through some light language, which could be interpreted as a specific type of symbol or frequency. G Campus, I usually feel tired with flu-like symptoms, but sometimes it's allergy. The tiredness is persistent. Yeah, like it can be also that like ascension symptom thingy that we're going through from time to time. And the way you can like identify it more easily is that it's like fluctuating. It's like coming in and out. It's like you feel that symptom very deeply, almost like you think that you're going to have a flu or something, and maybe in 6 hours it's completely gone, and most likely it was some type of ascension symptom, or at least that's how we call it. And I see that Esther has posted something. I like your light language because your voice is so soft and has a special frequency. Awesome, thank you. Which calms me down. Yes, well, I'm very grateful to assist in this way. For most of my life, I considered my voice being a curse because people were falling asleep when I was doing presentations. So I also know that some people fall asleep during my meditations, but that's a good thing. So because then you're letting your healing take place in a much deeper level. Okay, so let's go through some of the points if we have missed anything. Yes, like how to effectively heal others remotely or in person. Yeah. Well, basically how I interpret it is like we talked about like what happens during a transmutation, and the more effective, like how to make it more effective. I think it all depends on you, the healer, and maybe if you're a client, that it most likely depends more on you, because like the healer who usually does a healing, they already know and are confident to a certain extent that they are able to do that, so they are confident that they will be able to achieve a specific result. And most likely than not, the problem may, it's not nice of me to say that, problem may likely be maybe with the client who is like has doubts, like what if it won't work, or what if I'm not able to do this, or something goes wrong. And like all those doubts and I know like distorted beliefs, they can like really like derail that experience. But I have definitely like noticed if like you are like determined that okay, like this is what I need and I'm going to get what I need from this specific healing session, And the more confident and like determined you are, the stronger it will be. It's basically you're like simply allowing that healing to actually work on you. Because like, I know, like a healer can stand on its head and like dance or something. If you don't want to get healed, like there's nothing anyone can do for you, basically. But if you like determined that you want to work with this, you want to get through this and like, okay, like this is the next step, that I go to this person and have a session with them, and you're determined that that is what you're going to do and that is going to help you, then it will. Because basically you're simply allowing yourself to heal and to transform. The single thing that a healer does is that they like bring through the energies that you need so you can work with them more effectively. But yeah, like having a clear and strong intent is like the bread and butter of everything when you're energetic, basically. Okay. And how to send gratitude and or love related energy to others. Okay. Yes. Ooh. Well, there are multiple ways you can do it. But yeah, like what I would definitely like add to it is like first, like cultivate that energy inside of you. Because like during our day, we can be easily distracted. Like many things can happen that like pushes you out of that aligned state, where maybe there are some occasions during your day when you have difficulty feeling gratitude or maybe love or peace, because like you're going through some difficult experiences, and in those states you're completely unable to send love or gratitude energy towards anyone, because like you don't have that inside of you at that time. So the first step is basically realigning yourself and like bringing that up, that energy, that feeling inside of you. And I think the quickest and best way to do it is to like remember something or bring up a specific experience that you had that like made you feel very grateful, or an experience where you felt unconditional love on a very deep level with someone, or you had maybe a spiritual experience 3 years ago when you felt that love, and just like immerse yourself in that energy and feel it and like make it your own. And after you really like integrated that, and in that moment, like you can like extend that to a specific person. They may be there, maybe they're not there. And I know, like you can visualize it, or you can like even phrase it however you want. Maybe like see that person in front of you and later like transmitting that energy from your heart towards them and immersing them in the same pleasant, peaceful, grateful, and loving energy that you're experiencing yourself. But just as with this and also with healing, the first step is always to like bring up that divine and peaceful, loving, healing energy inside yourself first, because you will not be able to share that with anyone if you don't have it already anchored within yourself. So also you won't be able to help heal anyone if you're not aligned, or if you're not embodying those healing energies first yourself. Okay. And also the last one, remote healing is as good as personal healing. Yeah, that is a very good question, for which I have maybe an answer, but this is just my perspective. Is it depends again on the people that are doing it. Like I think the best way to do it is like being person, and I think that's most likely what most of us would prefer, because like you have a direct interaction with another human being. But most of the time, like that's not possible for whatever reason. Maybe you just don't have anyone close to you geographically, or you don't know anyone in a, I don't know, like 500 kilometers radius that you can go to have this healing session. Or maybe you just don't want to meet anyone in person. But yeah, like remote healing can be also very potent. And again, it like depends on the people doing it. Like if you are confident that that will help you and it will assist you through whatever you're going through, then it will do that. Like definitely. Like I did an implant removal process in 2016 or 17 from galacticconnections.com. And the way it worked, that I didn't even have a direct interaction with them. I had to like schedule a specific slot after I purchased the removal process, and I basically like had to choose a time and date when I knew that I will be asleep. So, or at least resting at that time, so I can like turn off and like just let go of everything. And I did that, and the crazy thing is that I think I scheduled it like a month ahead because there weren't any free spots for that week or so. So it was like 4 weeks in advance where I scheduled that healing or removal process or whatever. And the crazy thing is, like the moment I hit the, I don't know, like purchase or buy button, the process started. like seriously. Like, and after like those days, like in the first few days were like very intense. And I remember like what it really did for me is that like that period like really like forced me to like reevaluate how I see myself as a human being, or like who am I in relationship with others, and like who do I want to be basically. And by the time the actual scheduled process took place, like the whole thing has already happened for me throughout that period basically. Like I went through a lot of changes before the session actually happened, and I'm not sure if anything really happened at that specific point that was like scheduled for me. Maybe most of it just happened before that, I'm not sure. But it was like very interesting that at the point that I like pushed the button, I'm like, okay, like, I'm dead set on like doing this, it already started. So yeah, like intention can be very strong. Okay. G Campus, Esther Lazar, totally agree with your affirmation. Did I miss something? Yes, I think so. Okay. And yeah, like a curly vegan, do you use tarot? And if not, how come? Yeah, like I wanted to learn tarot, I don't know, like in 2015 or so. I was very intrigued by it, also just as with astrology. And I very quickly realized that it's not something that I will be able to learn on a weekend. And I just simply don't have much time to devote to these things. And I said like, okay, like this is something I'm not going to do in this lifetime, I guess. But it's something that's very interesting. By the way, I have, I think like 2 oracle card decks, like the cosmic reading cards and the Blue Messiah, which is like the continuation of each other basically, from Nari Anastasia, I think. Like they're really good, like they resonate with me really on a very deep level. But it's not something that I use on a regular basis. Like it happens a few times a year, but usually just out of curiosity, I like draw like 2 or 3 cards for myself or someone, and usually some very crazy and on point synchronicities and insight happens during those times. Oh, the water pump just initiated. But it's not something that I do on a regular basis. I kind of get the same information without the cards too, but it's like very interesting and like nice to see that that information like being presented by something tangible and physical in your hands that you just have there. So yeah, like I prefer oracle cards because it's like, in my opinion, it's like far more quicker and intuitive. Like you don't have to know all that much detail about tarot cards. Okay, so Lucy, sleep or fall in a kind of trance by your voice. That's what I feel. Awesome. Yes, a deep state of relaxation. Yes, and Pamela Lee Babcock. Could you offer some advice to get to your highest vibration? Yeah, like there are a lot of things that you can do. Excuse me, I took too much baking soda. But yeah, like in general, is like doing things that you enjoy doing and doing the things that are in alignment with who you are, basically. Like that's the most consistent thing that you can do that really will like skyrocket you up vibrationally. Because if you do the things that you enjoy doing, then basically you're realigning with your higher vibrational self. Like you enjoy doing those stuff for a very good reason, because like you have pre-programmed yourself before being born that, hey, like those are the things that will like lead you in a good direction, so you will enjoy doing those because that's a good thing. Like that's how we work, basically. Like we avoid unpleasant stuff and we tend to gravitate towards things that we enjoy doing or experiencing. And that's how our higher self programmed this whole experience, that you will enjoy doing the things that are important to you on the long run. And the more you do that, the more aligned you will be with your higher vibrational self. But maybe if you don't have the opportunity all day long to live for your passion or do things that you enjoy, then you can do these transmutations, basically. Like these are the quickest and surest way of getting there, basically. Doing your energy maintenance. And also like during the meditations, you're like reconnecting with your higher vibrational self, with the heart center energy, and basically you're just bringing all that higher vibrational energy forth very quickly, and you're integrated in your physical body. And in short, like that's what this life experience is all about. Like we have learned and experienced a lot on other lifetimes and maybe the higher realms, and we carry a lot of knowledge inside of us, but it's kind of dormant. And the other difficulty is that even if that information like comes to the surface, may that be like memories or like gifts, or maybe you're here to like bring some new inventions into the world, but the difficulty and the challenge lies in like, how do you make that work? Like you have to find a way to make that a reality here in this lifetime. And in most cases, there aren't any templates for it. And our job is to like find a way to make that high vibrational information, gifts, and possibilities a reality here in this physical reality. And yeah, like it can take a lot of time. It can be challenging because like we are creating something that has not been created in this way, in this reality. Like maybe those things were a reality and like a part of your day-to-day life, maybe like 15,000 years ago or in another star system, but that's like a completely different environment and culture. And we have to like, we already have that information, but now we have to kind of bring it here and share it with others. And that can be difficult. Okay, yes, Disciple 111, hello. There is a principle called Kithing. I'm not sure if I read that correctly, which is developed by spiritual individuals who have written about the process. The spirit of truth is a universal energy permeating all life, which has not rejected it. Yes, very poetically and beautifully stated. Thank you. And G Campus, thank you for your answer and insight. Well, thank you. Okay, we have went through all the questions. If anyone wishes to ask something, then now it would be an awesome time to do so. And also, Disciple 111, thank you for joining. And you also reminded of me to like talk about the book that I have written in 2021, The Teachings of Thoth, the Atlantean, which also addresses a lot of transmutation, healing, like how to navigate this reality. And if you're into like mystical teachings, alchemy and all that, or if you already know the Kabbalion or familiar with Hermetic teachings or philosophy, then you will feel right at home with it. You can, if you don't want to read it, you can listen to the audiobook. If you go to the YouTube channel, it's the first video that we'll see. And also last year's November or October, I shared like a continuation of it, an audiobook called The Book of Immortals, which also like elaborates on this whole process of evolution and what can we do in this lifetime. I hope it will be very insightful. So thank you for everyone who just joined. Thank you for watching the replay to this point. I'm sending you all much love. And I think the next time that we will see each other, it will be during the spring equinox. So looking forward to that.